and should be on X now simultaneously, and Twitch. If you're on Twitch, check this out. Here we go. I still am live on Twitter, on X, and YouTube is now live too. Okay, perfect. So double streaming. I can see myself on different screens. How beautiful is that? And X is working. Can you guys confirm X is working? Yeah, thumbs up. Okay, perfect. Here we go. Ready to go. Happy 2025. Welcome back. It's a new year, and I am excited for 2025, despite the fact that our token price has been hammered by the market and we're not getting any appreciation for what we're doing. The fact that we are a data availability and index availability network live with thousands of data sets from the RWA category, RWA being real world assets and not risk weighted assets. So hopefully that will change this year and the market will begin to really appreciate what we're working on. But I remain super excited. The team remains super excited, and the community is continuing to support us and are aware of what we're doing and what we're building with the Truth Network. But anyway, I'm Stefan Roost. I'm the founder and CEO of Laguna Labs. Happy to be back. 2025, it's going to be a rocking year. It's the year of the dragon, right? Is it the year of the dragon? It's ooh, man, I should know. I was just in Asia, so it's the Chinese year. Are we entering? And by the way, it's supposed to be an auspicious year for me, but it's actually the year of the snake. Sorry, we're entering into the year of the snake, which starts at January 29th. And I was given these interesting jade ornaments in Asia while I was there. And here you can see what these look like. This is a tiger. And what is a tiger? Here, take a look. That is a tiger. And then what you do is you hold these or wrap this around your keychain or something. And with these, they're supposed to be auspicious and give you good luck. But it's jade stone. And then you get these in all the 12 different Chinese zodiacs. So here, this is a dragon. I don't know if you can see the dragon. I got a rabbit. So apparently, the rabbit is a good sign to have in the year of the snake. And here you got the pig. Look at the pig, little piggy. You know, these could be meme coins, mimetic assets in the form of jade, real world assets. And like I said, we take the mimetic assets and blend it with real world assets and put the price of these on the blockchain. Anyway, yeah. So welcome to 2025. Look, really happy to be back. It was a really busy new year. We've got lots of really good content coming out, had some really good meetings in Hong Kong, created a lot of podcasts. So we'll be sharing those podcasts with you. What's going on in Asia? There's Consensus in Hong Kong in February, which is the annual crypto event, blockchain event. There's the FinTech Summit this year. Met with the CEO of the HSBC, global CEO, met some other top CEOs of different companies, the Jardines Group, lots of different family offices, and met KGK, one of the biggest diamond manufacturers, they call themselves, in the world. They work very closely with De Beers and other partners, but the diamond industry ain't looking too good. I don't know if you guys have seen, but there's a new interesting post out there. It's dropping since 2012. It's dropped. It climbed up in 2022. Everybody was looking for alternative investment assets. And since then, it's just been on a huge downward streak. But what have we been talking to them about? What is the price of diamonds? How do we create indexes associated with diamonds? Diamonds come in different carats, come in different colors. They come in different sizes. They are certified by different companies. How do you create an index and transparency associated with that and monitor the price movement associated with that? And then how do you trade those? Can you tokenize those? Really interesting conversations, and seems like the industry, when under pressure, forced to change. And I think that's going to be really the theme of 2025. There's going to be a lot of change coming. That's going to mean a lot of industries are going to be under pressure to drive change. We saw that in the past, and we're going to see that again. And I think we are in an industry category that is going to witness a significant upside and change, and yeah, capture a lot of that opportunity associated with change. We're in the blockchain world. We're taking real world assets and putting that on the blockchain. We're leveraging DeFi, decentralized finance, as a means to build out and develop new financial rails that are built on using new technology in a decentralized form that transcends boundaries and jurisdictions and black lines on a piece of paper that represent borders. And ultimately, how do we enforce and protect and trade around the world? I think what we're also seeing is the growth and rise of new economic studies, more libertarianism, more freedom, free the markets, free the world. If we free the markets, if we enable trade, we will enable communication between the different participants on this planet. We will enable trade and exchange, which will allow us to communicate with each other more. The more we communicate with each other, the more we understand each other. That will then lead to prosperity and focus, not on destruction, but on construction. So hopefully we see more and more of that over the course of the next 2025, setting the foundation for that. We've seen a significant amount of change already. Just alone in this today, we saw that what happened? The Canadian Prime Minister, Trudeau, is it Prime Minister? President? Let me know. But Trudeau just resigned. And guess what happens? The market reacts immediately. Canadian dollar jumps on Trudeau and tariff reports. So Canadian dollar gains 0.7 against the greenback, touches near 3-week high. Okay, not two. Price of U.S. oil increases, bond yields up on steeper curve. Yeah, but I mean, I think what's the market saying? Basically, looks like they're bullish on Canada and the resignation, and it looks like the new um, candidate. I don't think he's anointed the president yet, or prime minister. Is it prime minister or candidate or president? I mean, I should know that, shouldn't I? It's just Trudeau announced, and it seems that Lievre, am I pronouncing his name correctly, is going to be the next president. He's very pro Bitcoin. He paid at some of the restaurants. He went and demoed how you can actually buy and pay in crypto. Wow, what does that mean? New payment mechanisms using the blockchain rails as payment. So I don't need to wait and get and pay 5% transaction fees as I do with a credit card, and then another 2% in point of sale solutions and merch and fees from the POS provider. And then on top of that, wait 30 days for settlement before I actually can get the money. With these credit cards in crypto land, you don't need to do that. You get instant settlement. So you get your funding right away. You don't pay, you just pay the gas fees for a transaction. And as long as those gas fees are on rails that aren't too expensive, Bitcoin's a bit too expensive. Ethereum, still too expensive. Where do I go for really cheap one? And somebody was telling me during the vacation that XRP and XLM, Stellar, XRP will be cross-national, will be trans-border, global remittance services, the money, what's it, the Western Union of the going after the Western Union, and XLM will be going after, which is Stellar, will be going after the Visa and the payment settlement because they're super cheap and they're fast. Let's see. That's one bet that people are making. You bet. Agree in that? Let me know. What do you think? Does that make sense to you? Anyway, those are things that people are looking at. We'll see. But there's been a lot of interesting change, right? And 2025 will bring change about and will drive change, right? One of the big changes that we've already seen is how has Meta changed, right? So Meta, uh, led by its founder, Mark Zuckerberg, he has now changed his stance a lot. He has now invited Dana White to his board. I thought this was amazing. I mean, really super cool to see. All of a sudden, Dana White is now on the board of Facebook, or Meta as it's called now. So Dana White's been a very vocal advocate of free speech, and now he's joining the board of directors. And guess what? Right after that, not only that announcement comes out, Mark Zuckerberg comes out and gives a quick introduction to free speech. What he's always believed in free speech. He gave a presentation. Others believe he just loves UFC and he's been doing jujitsu. So, what do you think? Let me know in the comments what you think. But yeah, I found this video that he put out there really interesting, where he is. Let's listen in. Let's just listen in.
Information was a threat to democracy. We tried in good faith to address those concerns without being first. We're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes, similar to.
So he's getting rid of people and going to put in place community notes. Fact checkers were really popular in Asia. A lot of the Chinese media and social media used to have fact checkers or fact checkers that were representing the Communist Party, and they were people, and they had whole departments that were viewing all the threads and all the comments, and those were fact checkers that were out there doing the censorship. And so now they're going back to actually not having fact checkers anymore, but having community notes, very similar to the way that X put it out there.
Starting in the US. After Trump first got elected in 2016, the legacy media wrote nonstop about how misinformation was a threat to democracy. We tried in good faith to address those concerns without becoming the arbiters of truth. But the fact checkers have just been too politically biased and have destroyed more trust than they've created, especially in the US. So over the next couple of months, we're going to phase in a more comprehensive community notes system. Second, we're going to simplify our content policies and get rid of a bunch of restrictions on topics like immigration and gender that are just out of touch with mainstream discourse. What started as a movement to be more inclusive has increasingly been used to shut down opinions and shut out people with different ideas, and it's gone too far. So I want to make sure that people can share their beliefs and experiences on our platforms. Third, we're changing how we enforce our policies to reduce the mistakes that account for the vast majority of censorship on our platforms. We used to have filters that scanned for any policy violation. Now we're going to focus those filters on tackling illegal and high severity violations. And for lower severity violations, we're going to rely on someone reporting an issue before we take action. The problem is that the filters make mistakes, and they take down a lot of content that they shouldn't. So by dialing them back, we're going to dramatically reduce the amount of censorship on our platform.
So that's interesting. So, right, he's going to change some of the requirements and the restrictions, no longer follow the guidelines that the mainstream media are driving, and the owners of those mainstream medias, family held, what do you call them? They're not the founders themselves, but they are owners, and inherited owners of the businesses that are driving policies, and thereby trying to dictate the terms of all their staff that are paid for journalists at these companies. So they're driving to the tune of the inherited owners of these mainstream media properties. And
we're also going to tune our content filters to require much higher confidence before taking down content. The reality is that this is a trade-off. It means we're going to catch less bad stuff, but we'll also reduce the number of innocent people's posts and accounts that we accidentally take down. Fourth, we're bringing back civic content. For a while, the community asked to see less politics because it was making people stressed, so we stopped recommending these posts. But it feels like we're in a new era now, and we're starting to get feedback that people want to see this content again. So we're going to start phasing this back into Facebook, Instagram, and Threads while working to keep the communities friendly and positive. Fifth, we're going to move our trust and safety and content moderation teams out of California, and our US-based content review is going to be based in Texas. As we work to promote free expression, I think that it will help us build trust to do this work in places where there's less concern about the bias of our teams. Finally, we're going to work with President Trump to push back on governments around the world that are going after American companies and pushing to censor more. The US.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I mean, listen to that we're going to move to Texas, moving away from California. So another big move into Texas. Facebook already had a big campus in Austin. You now have X moving to Austin. You've got Facebook and Meta moving to Austin. Threads assets there. So a lot of the content and participants moving out of California again, into Texas. Why? Texas seems to be the place of freedom in the US, not only in the US, but around the world. So the freest market for freedom of speech in the US. And now also, they're going to be able to do and provide more voice and freedom of speech around the world. So they're going to start allowing people to have a voice anywhere on the planet, not just in the US. So all of us around the world can participate in expressing our opinion and having that heard. We're seeing what Twitter is doing in the UK. So this is going to bring about different changes. All of these changes are going to lead to economic opportunity for youth. It's going to provide hope. And that's what we want today. We're looking for new hope, new avenues of opportunity, new opportunities for generating wealth and creating financial freedom for a whole new class of generation coming up through the woodworks, not being burdened by restrictions, limitations. It's a world of abundance that's going to grow around us. And that's the world of opportunity that we want to encourage and allow anybody to participate in this. So if you like that video, check it out. I thought it was really good. It's this one, CTO Larson shared it. He's also somebody you should follow, always good opinions, also on crypto and other things. But one of the things is and if you know, we've been working on index.fun at Truflation, at Laguna Labs, and through the Truth Networks. And at index.fun, I found that, we have the deadlift index that Peter Levels put. We have this whole founder-led initiative that took place. And so what I wanted to do was just create a founder-led token or index of all the CEOs that are founders. So Brian Armstrong at Coinbase, Jensen Huang at NVIDIA, Meta with Zuck. We have Elon at Tesla. And then we have Palantir out there as well with Alex Karp. So a number of them are founders, still working at the business, still driving and leading initiatives at these in the respective companies. I mean, they're ultimately all tech companies. Let me know which companies are still founder-led that are not included in here. Let's add it to this index. And by the way, you can come here and now go to app.index.fun. And here you can compare it to SPX 500. How has it performed against that? I can even go to Bitcoin. How's it performed against Bitcoin? Ooh, Bitcoin's has underperformed founder-led since January this year. So in the last week, it's underperformed the performance of these founder-led CEOs. But anyway, you can bet. Come here now, check it out. Come to index.fun. So what you can do is you can create your own index. Go to app.index.fun, create your own index. Tell us what you think. This is still on testnet. You can go it's on Base, it's on Sepolia, so it's a testnet. You can get free USDC to play around with on Sepolia. You can get Truth, and you can go and create your own index. So you can choose here. Let's look at the meme index. I got Dogecoin. I don't want Coinbase in there. I got Shiba, Nvidia. I will remove. We've got Bonk, Brett, Dog with Hat, and I can launch this index. I can add an image, and let's just go meme. Sorry, are you seeing my? No, you're not seeing my pop-up. Great. Meme coin index. I need a nice image. Anyone? Let's go, dog. Oh, I have the Doge image. Do I still have that? Yeah, Doge. Screenshot. Doge. Sorry, guys. You're going to have to bear with me on this one. Yeah, here, let's open this one. There you go. Another neat index. So now I can launch this index. And I need truth to get it. I can come here, get my truth. I still have 90 truth, so I don't need to get more truth. I should be able to, something went wrong, get the truth. You can then click get the truth. I need 100 truth. You can see I don't have enough. So it got me another 100 truth. So now I have 190. So I can stake my 100 truth and publish it. All I'm doing is staking. I am not paying. It's just getting the truth and using it to stake. That allows me to publish the token request failed status code 413. I need to know what that is. That's why it's on testnet. But here you can find all my indexes. So I can see my indexes here that I've created live. I have my founder led. I looked at that. I can view the stats, how many people have betted on this. Yeah, there's $50 in it going up. So tomorrow it should go up and it will pay out. And $1, I'll earn 90 cents. I could earn down. Have anybody bet down? Maybe we'll bet down. And then, let's go. Let's put in $10, place bet down, and it goes down. I can confirm. And so anyway, yeah, you can play around, you can predict the outcome on where this will potentially go. And in 6 hours time is when the update will happen, and then the rewards get paid out. So yeah, this is now live. You can follow, create, benchmark. I can then benchmark this against the S&P or Bitcoin or anything else. So that's what we've been working on with index.fund. Bit of a product pitch there. But yeah, so we have Mark Zuck. We had just going an announcement. So I thought, let's just do something where the founders are really driving the initiative and still leading their companies. You can see that a lot in the AI space. Talking about AI, we had NVIDIA. I'm not sure if you saw their announcements, but there was the CES, which is the Consumer Electronics Show in the US. That's happening right now this week. It's in Vegas. It's one of the biggest consumer electronics show. It's phenomenal. It's gigantic. Hundreds and thousands of people fly in from all over the world to demo their consumer products or their electronics, from car manufacturers with electric cars to robots and self-driving cars to NVIDIA sharing their shares. And yeah, Jensen Huang was on stage and shared some of the innovations that they've been working on and trying to highlight that. So here he's saying the agentic AI space will be $1 trillion industry. So there's a whole new industry growing that's going to be $1 trillion. Are you working on and with agentic AI solutions? Have you hired and got your agent to help you create emails, book your flights, and help do your trading for you? So there's a whole new category in crypto called DeFi AI, so decentralized financial AI, right? So you have that too. So all of these things are coming, and it is going to increase productivity significantly. He announced Cosmos. He announced a new computer. Have you seen this new computer? Yeah, here it is. A new device with a GB10 super chip, Blackwell GPU, Grace CPU, high band, blah, blah, blah. You can see the whole device, the size of a Mac Mini, pretty much. At least that's what it looks like on the screen. I don't know how big it is in the dimensions. Do your homework, check it out. But yeah, NVIDIA did that. And they announced a slew of different activities. In terms of how they're working with car manufacturers on self-driving and then building images and capturing that images to train the chipsets so that cars can train using the learnings from others. What I want to see is, how do they use that capturing? What will be the next Google Maps? Will we not be using Google Maps anymore? Instead, we'll be using Tesla Maps that is actually giving us a 3D visual of everything. And by the way, we'll be putting that on as nice big glasses, and it'll be embedded in your Meta Oculus Rift or your Apple. I can't remember what's it called? The Apple glasses. But look, you're going to see all of that here live. This is what your maps is going to look like. You can walk through, find your directions, and it's just going to be showing you the way. And by the way, your whole new virtual worlds are going to be built using this imaging set. And then you'll be virtual in this virtual world. It'll be your house there. and anybody can start programming with that. Guess what that's going to be like? We will never need to travel. We'll just go there and then leverage these images to go in and around. And if you remember, there was an app, what was it called? Foursquare? It was Foursquare, wasn't it? Where you could actually go around and it would log all the venues, and then you'd go into the venue and then you'd see more details as more and more users adopted it, and you'd get more insight. So it wouldn't just be the roads outside and the buildings on the roads. It would then all of a sudden take it. We'd have a new tool with the glasses that would then record going inside and moving around inside these buildings. So all of the world will be virtualized, crowdsourced, crowdfunded, and token digitized, right? So a lot of innovation happening, and NVIDIA was rewarded through that by hitting an all-time high of $153, and then all of a sudden dropping. Boom! I don't know why it dropped. Anybody know why? But yeah, it really hit an all-time high. Yeah, amazing. One thing that I thought was really interesting, they announced a partnership with a company called Micron Technologies. So here, actually, let me just share with you what that visual looks like when the stock just plummets. Hitting all-time high, plummet significantly. Either way, a lot of activity going on there. NVIDIA doing really well. They did announce a partnership with a company called Micron, Micron Technologies. And Micron Technologies chipset, I mean, they equally skyrocketed significantly after that announcement. A lot happening over there. And where did I have that? Anyway, if you look at Mike, they also hit an all-time high. Here, let me just go and find Micron. I mean, they went up technology. I think the market knew that that partnership was about to happen anyway. And so if you look here, how's their stock performing? Here, okay, it's come down a bit, but if you look over the last 5 days, significant bump up right here when the announcement came out, January 6th, it was at $90, went all the way up to 105. So I think the market's just taking the profit, capturing the news and then selling on that. But if you look back, if we go back, let's say 3 months ago, you can see they were already at pretty much a nice high. So their partnership with really strong, driven by strong demand in AI technologies. So their partnership with NVIDIA must have been going on for a while. Wow, look at them. They were up at $130. So actually, it's just a quick recovery. Why have they been dropping so much? Year to date actually isn't fair. Let's have a look at the whole year. What's that look like? Wow, they were up at 140. So they were down at 80. 79 back in February last year. So a year ago, they were at 79, went all the way up. This is like a crypto stock, man. Went all the way up to 153 and then back down to nearly down to 80 again, and then up to 100. So yeah, lots of activity around partnerships with these companies. So who are ecosystem partners? Have a look at your companies you work with. Who are they? Who is in their ecosystem? And then that then gives you other insights in terms of what the relationships are like and what the opportunities are, and whether or not there'll be any sort of financial returns in and across those partnerships. Yeah. I think one thing that came out today as well, there was a labor, if you're following Truflation on Twitter, please do so. If you're not, you always get insights. As you know, we're up to 45 days ahead. You can spot trends and shifts in markets. 45 days lead time. That gives you a significant leap and advantage in terms of insights and trading opportunities, and a way to make decisions based on the data. If you're doing your own research, always do your own research. But here you can see ISM services PMI came out, surged 54%. And if you listen to my previous podcasts, I was asking, why did Jerome Powell and the Fed reduce interest rates by 25 basis points. Why did they do that? The market was hot, employment was hot, economy strong, and inflation was strong too. And I think they needed to bring that down in order to encourage other jobs to take place. But this is going to imply that inflation is going to go up even further. So guess what? You look at here, jobs openings rose to 8.1 million versus 7.8 million expected. And that's maybe why all these markets dropped, right? The whole markets dropped. Micron went down, as we saw. How did Meta do? We saw Nvidia go down. Let's see, Nvidia stock. Here, let's go Meta stock. Yeah, everybody seems to have dropped mainly because of this announcement around the job reports and job numbers. Meta came down as well. Look at that, dropped from 630 all the way down to 610, slight recovery. But yeah, everybody went down this morning mainly because of the job numbers and production and services growth. So everything is still pretty high. And what does that mean? We have next week on the 15th of January, the BLS announces inflation numbers. And what does that look like? So you go to Polymarket, one of the sources of information, and you can see there 72% are betting that or predicting that inflation will be above 2.9 or above. And there's $101,000 betting on that. Somehow 132,000 are betting that there's a 2% that it will drop below. I don't know why so many people that are betting on that amount, but maybe everybody's hedging themselves. But yeah, 72% chance of the inflation going above 2.9%. And if you've been following Truflation, you will know that we've been saying that for a while. We have seen since a huge rise since September in inflation, all the way down at what were we down? We were down at 1.8%, and then skyrocketed all the way up to 3% over the course of less than 6 months. In like 4 months, it's gone all the way up there. And then some shuffle back around December. Remember, we do our inflation every single day. It's updated. And in some days, we get bigger bulks of data than in other days. And so in that calculation, you can see here how the markets react, and we're up at 2.9%. And yeah, the trend was 3.11 was the highest. We were up 3.07, and we're back up on the way up again. And one thing that you can see is that basically we see pivotal changes in the inflation calculations some 45 days ahead of the BLS. And here, one of our team members put together this beautiful chart just analyzing the performance of Truflation versus the BLS. So he's done a lot of studies in this and looked at how and what the correlations are. And here you can see you have a 45-day lead time to see these pivots. Obviously, you may not make instant decisions right at the word go when you see a big shift, but over time you can see patterns, and those patterns then allow you to track those. You can then also, as you know, in Truflation, if you go to the US inflation index, you see the composition of all the 12 categories that we have here. So you can track food and beverages. You can easily just cross out, I don't care about, I just care about food at home. How people look at the spike in prices at the grocery store, significant jump in cost of food. And by the way, the average person goes to the grocery stores 10 times a month. So you're witnessing and feeling and experiencing these price hikes, spikes every single time you go to the grocery store, which is at least 10 times a week. So anyway, lots of different changes there. You can track it all. Go see, check it out. Let us know what you think, but you can play around with those on Truflation.com. And not only are we referencing Truflation.com and we're seeing a lead advantage, Danielle DiMartino Booth put together, if you're not signing up, haven't signed up to her newsletter on Substack, follow her on Substack, subscribe to her newsletter, and you get lots of interesting insights into um, inflation and what's going on, but also economic data. And she's got lots of research. And she regularly, once a year, does an analysis of Truflation and the BLS numbers, or just basically CPI numbers out there. Ultimately, she's correlating a lot of our elements with the elements of the CPI. So trying to track one-on-one. Certain elements we track very differently. Housing, we track completely differently to that of the way that the BLS tracks it. We have a big blog post we can read up about it. And we have partnered with the with Penn State, amongst others, to really put together a more modern approach to tracking housing and shelter. And so that is now live, and you can read about it. And it gets a bit more difficult in terms of how to compare apples with apples. So you can't really compare that. You need to decompose our calculation, correlate that to that of the BLS so that you can actually track it. Wow, we're doing so much, guys. I mean, I don't know if you've been tracking our newsletters. Please follow us and subscribe to us. You see how much you get reports, you get year in review, you see new golden age insights. Where are and which economy sections are going to grow? How is the holiday economy impact? I mean, look at all this insights. You got the open letter to Doge. Yeah, we got partnerships with LandX, where we now get real-time commodity pricing from LandX. We're going to get that from other networks that we're going to be announcing very soon. We've did this Sphinx announcement where we're getting oil prices and other commodity prices. We launched a meme coin index together with the digital asset solutions. Yeah, using the data, scan it. We're going to be able to have scanned receipts in Truflation as price feeds, crowdsourcing a lot of these data sets so that we can bring you better, more accurate, real-time feeds and prices on the blockchain, verified. And there you go, Sphinx doing that as well. So yeah, verified and decentralized and confirmed through a consensus algorithm, BFT consensus algorithm. So all of that's now live today for you to check out. Look at all this news and look at the work that we've been doing over the last year. And there she is, Danielle DiMartino Booth. Yeah, super knowledgeable out there. Oh, we've got Raoul Powell as well, another champion of Truflation. And we've got more, and we're going to be sharing with you more insights from key individuals in the macro space, in the micro space, in the builder space, in finance, across the economy globally, and help you identify how you can beat not only consumer price inflation, but also asset price inflation. Yeah, no, thank you. And we'll do a podcast with Balaji as well. So Alfredo Rialp has asked, hello, when are you launching the services? Which services? We've launched the services already. We're constantly improving, and you can see all the different types of partnerships and services that we're launching. And yes, we definitely are going to be actually now building out financial services using Truth Network data sources as a means, and the index is created by you on index.fund or by Truflation in terms of getting those into liquidity pools, into stablecoins, into lending protocols, and or into bigger derivative markets in the fiat world. So there's a number of activities now in the works. We've been spending the last 3 years building out, aggregating some 100 million data feeds across the US, UK, Argentina, India, and there's going to be more announcements coming out through those markets, going to Web3 partners and other Web2 partners to aggregate additional crowdsourced and funded and acquired data sets, and then bring that onto the Truth Network, build a decentralized data availability and index availability network on the blockchain. So it's transparent for everybody to see and accessible for anybody. And then now we can go into making those available on Web3 exchanges, lending protocols, DeFi assets, and DeFi protocols so that you can benefit from all these data feeds that we've got. We're now, and 2025 is going to be the year where we're going to be bringing those to market and allowing you to trade and participate and engage with better products that are going to be fitting a modern market and bringing what was traditionally only available to few in the fiat world, expensive, needed lawyers, timely, lots of investments, lots of forms, lots of regulations, to all of a sudden fast, furiously cheap, all available on DeFi to be able to validate, vet, test, and scale so that anybody, 1.7 billion people that don't have access to traditional finance rails, now have access to these new capabilities and features. So we're super excited to be able to bring that. And yes, we will be working with our advisors, with our investors to really help propel this to the new level and really take what we've been working on the last 3 years, tirelessly, relentlessly, now going into overdrive and use nitro oxide to really drive and move this machine forward. So on that note, let me know if you have any questions. I'll be back on Thursday. And what we will talk about on Thursday is go a bit deeper into some of the agentic AI world. What does that look like? What does that mean? How, given all the data that has been acquired and is out there, how are agents going to help us filter through that data, work more efficiently? What are some of the services that I should be looking at? How can I benefit from these agents? What do I do with these agents? So stay tuned. Join on Thursday, same time, same place, same channels, YouTube and X. And welcome back to 2025, Year of the Snake. And the rabbit and the horse are very good in the Year of the Snake. And so stay tuned. It's going to be an amazing year. 20th of January, we have an inauguration. January 15th, we have the BLS with the inflation number coming out. On WEF, World Economic Forum, and Millet is going to be in Switzerland. And he's speaking at the Liberal Institute, and he's also going to be in Davos and he's giving a speech there right after being and attending the inauguration on January 20th. So we have January 15th, January 20th, and then the world will see a different change. We have a new president or prime minister in Canada coming into power. We're going to see changes in the UK. What is Europe doing? Where's China going? What's China got in its under its sleeve? Excuse me. And it's going to be a wild year. It's going to be an amazing year. Lots of opportunity, lots of entrepreneurial spirit now coming to shine. And we will see a lot of opening up of markets, and we will identify where the opportunity is going to be in which markets around the world. Stay tuned. Thank you. Hope you join on Thursday. Yeah, which 6 p.m. if you're in Europe, 12 p.m. if you're on the East Coast, 9 a.m. if you're on the West Coast, and if you're in Asia, it's going to be 1 a.m. So a bit too late. Sorry about that. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this. Please subscribe, follow us, and learn more about what we're doing and how the Truth Network is powering assets like Truflation, like Index.fun, and we will have for you next week. We will going into Nuon, how you can insure yourself on the blockchain using DeFi, totally independent protocol, self-custodial, against inflation. And not only inflation, but truflation, as you've seen, is actually a more accurate reflection of where inflation is and will be going. So stay tuned. Thank you. Hope to see you on Thursday. And yeah, subscribe, smash the like button, and have a awesome day. And the beginning to 2025 is only getting started. Thanks, everybody. See you on Thursday.